Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All to Shri Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to today's class. Today we will be discussing from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Lila chapter 7, verse 28. And the chapter is entitled Lord Chaitanya and His Five Features. We're very happy to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada.
Glories to
Haribol
Prabhupada.
Maharaj. And it's all yours, Maharaj.
Thank you. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vinda Yata Yata Prema Vistikara Pancha Gyane Tatta Tatta Bana Jali Vapi Tribhuvane. The more the five members of the Panchatattva causes the rains of love of God to fall, the more the inundation increases and spreads all over the world. The Krishna conscious movement is not stereotype or stagnant. It will spread all over the world in spite of the objections of fools and rascals that European and American militias cannot be accepted as Brahmins or sannyasis. Here is it indicated that this process will spread and inundate the entire world with Krishna consciousness. Om Gyan. Timirandasya Gana Jana Salakaya. Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale. Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swam Padantikam. Vandeham Ma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nerasesa Sunyavari Astyatya Satarinde Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhuve Vachapatitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namaho Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yes. Priti Vityachi Naga Adagram Sayamor Prachar Hare More Nam. That Lord Chaitanya, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Ayanya. The manifestation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an incarnation because he is the source of all incarnations. He is Krishna in full, along with the mood of his internal energy, pleasure Shakti, Ladini Shakti, Srimati Radharani. He has stated that this Krishna consciousness will spread throughout the world. Foolish people say that what he said means all over India. But we can see by the evidence in front of us that it's spreading all over the world, and that is Lord Chaitanya's movement. It's going to many countries around the world. Practically every country, not every, but mostly every country, has had some connection with Krishna consciousness. So this movement is destined to spread. The question is, who will do it? Will it be the devotees that are here now, or the devotees that will come in the future? Who will actually become the recipients of the full mercy of Lord Chaitanya by being his perfect emissaries, his perfect representatives, by spreading his message everywhere, taking the words of the Lord as their life and soul, and working in that way to make it happen. Chanting, kirtan, philosophical discussions, practical teachings of the philosophy, both theoretical and realized, everything, whatever it takes to inspire people to take up Krishna consciousness, distributing Krishna prasadam. So it's happening and it's increasing. There's no question about it not increasing. Every once in a while, I'd like to do it more regularly, but every once in a while I send out the ISKCON news, which comes out weekly about what is happening around the world. And you'll be amazed to see how Krishna consciousness is spreading in different ways and reaching all echelons of people, from the topmost government officials in some countries to the most ordinary people who simply come in contact with the devotees on the street. So it said it will spread all over the world in spite of the objections of fools and rascals who say that persons from European and American countries are below the Varnashram system and therefore they're not qualified to do this work. It can all be done by Brahmanas. But Prabhupada has shown, and Lord Narada Muni has shown, that you can take bell metal and you can turn it into gold by adding some mercury and one other ingredient. And then you have gold. You can actually make gold if you know how to do it. It's not easy, but it can be done. So in the same way, the bell metal type militias and yavanas from the European and American countries are becoming qualified to worship the deity, to perform yagyas, and to spread the glories of the Lord through various venues, especially through the chanting of the holy name. So we're seeing people from Western countries who came from very obscure backgrounds, materially obscure backgrounds, are now exhibiting the qualities of the Vaishnavas in full. That is the power of Lord Chaitanya's movement, and that is the expertise of the great souls who are part of that movement, such as His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj and Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and his representatives who have also take up the mantle to lead the charge in bringing more and more souls to the lotus feet of the Lord in devotion. Now, those of us who are here, we can watch it or we can take part in it. If you take part in it, then you get the mercy of the Lord. It's exciting. It's exciting because we know it'll become a phenomenon, a reality in due course of time. Srila Prabhupada told us, he said, we could conquer the world with Krishna consciousness in 18 days, but you're not ready. That's the power of this movement. It's very powerful, extremely powerful. It's coming from the spiritual world itself into the hearts of the great souls who practice it perfectly and who also distribute it to the fallen conditioned souls to change them from bell metal to pure gold, to change them from persons who act like malechas and yavanas to people who have Brahminical qualities and can speak the Shastras, can also defeat others in Shastric discussions. Well, that is the power of this movement. It is amazing. When someone asks Srila Prabhupada, can you show some mystic power? Prabhupada pointed to his disciples who were sitting there. This is my mystic power. I've changed hippies into movement, and it is the power of the great souls who are expert in distributing this movement to the fallen conditioned souls. Okay, so we can go on to the next verse. Mayavadi karma nishta kuta kika gana nindaka pasadi pashandiyata paduya adama se sabda mahadaksha dhanapa laila se vana sata sabare chunite narila. The impersonalists, fruit of workers, false logicians, blasphemers, non-devotees, and lowest among the student community are very expert in avoiding the Krishna conscious movement. And therefore, the inundation of Krishna consciousness cannot touch them. Like one Mayavadi philosophers in the past, such as Prakasananda Saraswati of Benares, modern impersonalists are not interested in Lord Chaitanya's Krishna conscious movement. They do not know the value of this material world. They consider it false and cannot understand how the Krishna conscious movement can utilize it. They are so absorbed in impersonal thought that they take it for granted that all variety is material, because they do not know anything beyond this misconception of the Brahma Jyoti. They cannot understand that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is spiritual and therefore beyond the conception of material illusion. Whenever Krishna incarnates personally as a devotee, these Mayavadi philosophers accept him as an ordinary human being. This is condemned in the Bhagavad Gita 9:11. Avajanti mamudhaham manusim dhanam asritam param bhavam ajnananto mama bhuta maheshwara. Krishna speaks very strongly. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. There are also other unscrupulous persons who exploit the Lord's appearance by posing as incarnations to cheat the innocent public. An incarnation of God should pass the tests of the statements of Shastras and also should perform uncommon activities. One should not accept a rascal as an incarnation of God, but should test his ability to act as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For example, Krishna taught Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna also accepted him as the personality of Godhead. But for our understanding, Arjuna requested the Lord to manifest his universal form, thus testing whether he was actually the Supreme Lord. Similarly, one must test the so-called incarnation of Godhead according to the standard criteria. To avoid being misled by an exhibition of mystic powers, it is best to examine a so-called incarnation of God in the light of the statements of the Shastras. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described in the Shastras as an incarnation of God. Therefore, if one wants to imitate Lord Chaitanya and claim to be an incarnation, he must show evidence from the Shastra about his appearance to substantiate his claim. Umagyan mirandasya gina jala sakaya chaksun militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha Namam Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. So here, impersonalists, fruit of workers, false loginians, people who like to find fault with others for no reason, blasphemers, non-devotees, and the lowest among the student community are very expert in avoiding the Krishna conscious movement. Therefore, this movement cannot benefit them. So there are so many classes of people who, because of their connection with the material energy, create these false types of philosophies, or philosophies that are based on trying to become something that they're not, such as incarnations of God. Prabhupada used to say, every day from India, one incarnation of God is coming to the Western countries. There's so many of these bogus cheaters because they can't do anything on the material level. And so, therefore, they think, well, I must be God. Or if they have some power, material power, they think this is the criteria for labeling themselves as being the supreme. We have met so many of these people. I spoke these stories so many times in this discussion. Just recently, within the last few months, one devotee was preaching in one city in the UK. It was in Liverpool, and they were inviting many different people to come for the program. And one man showed up, and at the end, he spoke to the devotee who was leading the program, whose name was, what was his name? Um, Antaranga. Name is Antaranga, which means spiritual. So he said to Angaranga, I am God. Straight off. And Antaranga said to him, if you're a God, then can you tell me what I'm thinking about? And the man became very upset, being challenged in his false position. And he became angry and stampeded away. So these people, there's so many of these people. They're all cheaters. There's one Christian who was claiming to be God, and then he said, if it's not true, well, he was saying, I have so much power that I'm the most powerful man in the world. He didn't say he was God, he was just saying he was powerful. And he said, if it's not true, then Lord Jesus Christ should strike me. And when he said that, there was a scaffolding in the back, and the whole thing fell and hit him on the head. Just after he said that. So he was exposed immediately. There's so many of these. I have at least 3 or 4 stories in my own personal life of meeting such false gods. And Prabhupada used to respond to these people in different ways, just to show that actually, if you're God, you have to show by activity. Anybody can say anything. There's a statement which says, um, a goat will eat anything, a madman will speak anything. So these people are mad. It's so egoistic that it's beyond definition that they actually can identify with the Supreme. But God is God, and no one can take his position. Ishwara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. And Prabhupada here explains how one should challenge such rascals in different ways. One way is to show by asking them to show by Shastric evidence that they are actually mentioned in the Shastras, because the Shastras mention the different incarnations of the Lord. In any Shastra, you'll find there are mentioned. This happened one time, this was quite a long time ago, but then one person was glorifying one particular yogi who was very famous in India. And he was a disciple of that yogi. And then when he was challenged by one devotee, where in the Shastras is he mentioned, the man could not come up with an answer. And he actually accepted defeat right on the spot. It was interesting. Most of the time they won't accept defeat either the followers or the so-called incarnation. But they defeat themselves by their own ignorance. Now, it's even ludicrous to even think that anyone can claim to be God because God is not something that you could manufacture on the spot. God is a personality who exists as the source of everything, is all powerful, and has been there before the beginning of time. So all of these so-called gods, uh, Prabhupada said we kick them in the face with our boot. We throw pies in their face. We don't give them any credit at all. And we're not and it's the duty of devotees in the ISKCON movement when they meet such persons to expose their ignorance by challenging them. We shouldn't be afraid to challenge them because we know behind us is the power of Srila Prabhupada's words and the power of the Supreme Lord. So you don't have to worry about what will happen. Krishna will show you exactly how to challenge such personalities and expose their ignorance. They already exposing their own ignorance by speaking like that. Obviously, it's an ignorant statement. But we want to destroy the illusion of those people who believe what they say. And that's one of the main reasons why we expose it. So others don't become trapped by these false logicians, these so-called gods like that. And there's so many, so many. The Mayavadis, they think that by practicing various forms of spiritual life, austerities, penances, study of the Vedas, various types of yajnas, then you can purify yourself and you come to the point of realizing that you're the supreme. So much so that they address each other as Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. And they called it. And there's one statement in the Shastras that says, um, Soham, Soham, which means I am that. The Prabhupada would say, what do you mean that? That what? What is that? That you are. But this statement refers that I am of the same nature as the absolute truth. In other words, the living entity, the conditioned living entity, is also a pure spiritual being. And therefore, there, in one sense, or in the qualitative sense, we have the same qualities of God in minute quantity. God is powerful, we also have some power. God is influential, we also can influence others. God is, he is artistic by designing the material energy with such beauty. We also can put some art on paper. So therefore we have similar qualities, but in smaller quantities. But the class of philosophers, so-called philosophers, we can't give them the credit of being philosopher. We say that actually just because you can do something similar to God on a smaller level doesn't mean you're God. We challenge them, say Krishna, the Supreme Lord, lifted Govardhan Hill for 7.5, when he was 7.5 years old, for 7 full days. Go ahead and live Govardhan Hill. If you can do that, then I might consider you to be what you say you are. But, when you challenge them, they back off or they are defeated by your challenge. So it's easy to defeat these people because their statements are so ludicrous. Okay, and don't be afraid to speak out against such persons when you hear from them. We're not being, well, we say we're actually doing a service to others by exposing these false logicians, as it says here, non-devotees, impersonalists, Mayavadis, blasphemers, so many categories of persons who, you know, claim to be something they're not, or are something of the material energy And then they think because they are expert in doing fruitive activities, they can be expert in understanding what is spirituality. But because even if they have some philosophical knowledge of scripture, they don't engage in devotional service. Therefore, they have no understanding of anything. And that's a principle that we should all take note of, that unless you engage in devotional service, your knowledge will never go beyond a certain point. It'll remain only theoretical. You can only come to realize knowledge when you act on the knowledge in the form of serving, under the guidance of Krishna's representative, the bona fide spiritual master. Okay, so this Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is Krishna Das Kaviraj. He's speaking like this. So we shouldn't have any objection about what he says, because he is a great devotee of the Lord and was commissioned by the leading followers of Lord Chaitanya, such as Srup Damodar Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami, to do this work of writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, and he was also blessed by Madan Gopal. When he came to the temple to get the blessings of the Lord to write this work, as he was praying, the garland from the deity fell off. And when everyone was there, they saw that, they all started to cheer. That was when Madan Gopal gave the permission and blessings for Krishna Das Kaviraj to do this great work of writing about the pastimes and activities and qualities and personality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Thank you, Maharaj. I'm going to stop sharing, and I would request devotees, if you can please turn on your videos wherever possible. We got the first question of Maharaj. Go ahead, Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu.
Thank you. Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. These groups that you're talking about, the impersonalists and all of these groups of people, it seems to me that there's two categories of these, because there's the ones that are out there preaching these things, and then there's the masses that are innocent but have heard this and are starting to believe it and sharing it with their friends. So are they all excluded from being able to get touched by Krishna consciousness?
Well, if some of them come in contact, the ones that are the so-called followers, they come in contact with this Krishna conscious movement, they have an opportunity to change if they're not envious. They're envious, and then it's quite difficult for them to change. In other words, if they actually want to know the truth, then if they come in contact with the truth, they will be able to accept it. But then there's those so fixed on their own ignorance that even if they hear the truth and it's explained to them in a very easy and logical way, or if they even take part in it, they cannot benefit because of their enviousness. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I speak this knowledge, knowing which you will understand everything. So to become non-envious is one of the qualities that allows one to accept this knowledge.
Okay. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you, Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu. Very nice question. Yes, Siddharth, go ahead. We can't hear you.
Maharaj, I had a
Okay, yep, now you're good. Now you're good. Go
okay.
ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandava Pranam Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories unto you. My question is about more so my youth or people my age. What I've realized is whenever like big events, like kirtan events, sangha happens, there's two sets of people. One group of people who are actually there to learn about Krishna consciousness, who are actually interested, and another group is just there for social interactions and just for the sake of being there or just for mundane material things. And uh, sometimes what I've tried to do, or some of my peers from this side have tried to do, is try to bring those people who are just on this, just wanted it for social interactions or just on that surface level of Krishna consciousness into a deeper stage. But to an extent, it's difficult, and like you said, it's time in that terms of like battling people who have different mindsets. My question is mainly about how do I approach this situation, or how do I approach these two different types of people, especially with my group
Well,
of
we find that you can speak to them, and unless they're receptive, they won't accept it. You can even give them prasadam, and they will not change. That may change after a long period. But one thing that will change them, and it's quick and it's easy and it works, is engage them in service. As soon as people start engaging in some practical devotional service, and then their consciousness starts to change. So that's where we look for the opportunities to engage people like that by offering some service for them to do. Come to the temple, clean the temple, come to the temple, and let's see, make a garden. Go outside and make a garden for the deities. Find someone who has some talent in that area. So you find different ways that you can engage them in service. Come and help out when we're doing some Sankirtan, help load the trucks with books. Come out on Sankirtan with us. In other words, you got to get them into doing some activity. The philosophy, they're stuck. They won't change because of the philosophy. They may be after a long period of time, if they're actually want to change. If they don't want to change, or if they don't want to learn, and then it's just like throwing, it's like throwing ashes. It's like throwing ghee on ashes. You don't get anything. So yeah, that seems to be the most effective way of changing such people. There's some interest there because they come to the temple, they take part in the kirtan. They're looking for some pleasure by doing these things, and they want to see their friends, and they also want to show off their own abilities to their friends. And who has the nicest looking beard, something like that.
yeah.
The ladies don't qualify for that.
The prettiest gopi skirt, the prettiest purse, the prettiest makeup, etc.
Who sings the best, something like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Anybody, a person with a good voice and knows music can sing. That doesn't qualify them.
Oops. We'll wait, Siddharth, because Maharaj is in a part where
Yeah, it's okay.
once in a while the Wi-Fi goes a little bit cuckoo.
Yeah, I understand.
We'll wait, and then you can continue. Maharaj, we missed the last 15 seconds of what you said because of your Wi-Fi. connection there. Sorry, Maharaj.
Yeah, Lord, someone asked Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, what is the qualification of a person to lead kirtan? And he answered by stating Lord Chaitanya's third verse of the Shikshastakam. Trinadapi Sunichena Dayori Vasuhishnuna Amaninam Amanadena Kirtaniya Sadavahi. He didn't say expert at musical renditions. He didn't say expert at expert at singing, anything. He said it's the qualification of a Vaishnav that their humility attracts Krishna. So when they sing and they're in that mood, it's attractive to Krishna because the purpose of kirtan is to glorify Krishna and to attract Krishna through the process of chanting his names. Like that.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely from when you said that people who want to change, definitely I've met some people over the summer. This one devotee girl from New Jersey, she asked me many questions about initiation and in terms of taking that next step into finding a spiritual master and stuff like that. And I was able to answer to the best of my ability, and we were able to exchange contacts. And with another group of people, we were able to start a Bhagavatam call, start a weekly Bhagavatam call where every Saturday we would join and read a few verses. So
People
thank you.
won't immediately understand, but if you can get them engaged, then gradually they can learn more and more about what is devotional service and how it works.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Did that help, Siddharth? I hope it did.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Good, thank you. Any other questions from devotees? Please do raise your hand, or you can put it in the chat and we will read it out to Marge. Marge, as you were answering Siddharth's question, Marge, so what you are saying is that if philosophy doesn't work, then it's either prasadam and devotional service, or both.
Well, kirtan has a way of inspiring people in devotional service, but there's those who won't allow that inspiration to go beyond the point of, well, it's enjoyable, and we come together to, and you have to understand the youth. The youth, they want to somehow or other make an impression on their peers mostly. They like that. So they vie for getting good marks in school, joining certain clubs in school, uh, finding the best girlfriend, finding the best boyfriend. It's all about popularity in youth.
Oh, Marge, yes, Marge. It's the
Yeah,
youth era.
and one of the highest form of suicides in the worldwide is among teenagers. And it's not amongst people who are poor, but people who are either nicely situated or actually affluent. Mm. Yeah, this is the World Health Organization keeps statistics, shows that teen suicide is the highest category of suicides.
That's really sad.
It's really sad when you think about it, yeah.
It's
Like
just
a
like the life just stops at that age, Marge.
prime of youth, because of the society pushes people to come up, to be good, to be an expert, to be successful. It's like, I was looking at my high school yearbook I had somehow one of my high school friends, I contacted some people and they sent me a copy of my high school yearbook with, and then you have the pictures of all of the students. Then you have what they majored in. And then at the end, there's there's a little bio there, who's their best friends, like that. And then you have at the end, uh, what, what is your goal in life? What do you want to get out of your education? And so usually they say, I want to be rich. I want to help people by becoming a doctor. I want to be I want to be famous in this way. It's all about popularity in different categories. You should have seen what I wrote.
Maharaj, I was curious to ask, but I was going to wait and see what you would say.
I'm the only one in the whole school that wrote something completely opposite.
What did you say, Maharaj, if that's okay?
I said, life is one letdown after another. That was my futuristic statement. Yeah, you can read it. I was pessimistic about life. I didn't have any.
Parikshit is trying to talk, Maharaj, but his reception is not good because he's at a rehab center. Your reception is not good, Parikshit, so you got to put in the chat.
Well, the whole material world is a rehab center.
I'm gonna mute him. He's really trying to talk, and that the Wi-Fi that's really bad in this rehab center. Wow, Marge, that's really Marge. Um, uh, Marge, Parikshit is asking when you put that in the yearbook, how did they take it?
I don't know. I never said what the hell. And I really didn't care either.
He was just curious and wondering how they took it. Amazing. Thank you, Marge. Devi, I'll go to you, and then from there, I'll go to the question in the chat.
It's so relevant, what Guru Maharaj is saying. Thank you, Anasuya. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. Just today, we had the great good fortune to host His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Maharaj for a talk on simple living, high Krishna conscious thinking. And Maharaj was sharing all the different things, that are so problematic in this world today at present. And at which point we talked about the youth. And Maharaj, you saying that, teenage suicides, that's the highest category of suicide. It is really very pathetic what we are doing to the kids. We are driving them beyond their capacity. Some kids are spending 12, 14 hours in school, and then they come back and spend another 5, 6 hours doing homework. Till that means their day begins at 5:36 in the morning and ends at 11:30 at night.
And
If
it's
they're
all you.
leading this,
The knowledge is completely useless too.
and all they're doing is for getting a degree after a few years, after which unemployment is going to follow the way things are going. So what are we putting our kids through, Maharaj?
You have to
And
understand one thing. Education is to build character. It's not about getting a particular degree so you can get a job. That's not the purpose of education. But that's how it's been played out in today's world, that your certificate allows you to be a good dog. That's all. Yeah.
Maharaj, you said it's so perfect, allowed you to be a good dog. I would not have thought of it that way, Maharaj.
Yeah, you go to the person who you want to be your master, you wag
Ah,
wag your tail by the door. And if he gives you some bone, then you're in. Then you are, because a dog has to have a master. So people in the material world are looking for false masters, like dogs. Or a street dog is never happy because it has no master. But a dog who has a good master, he sits up straight and he looks around at everybody else thinking, my master is my master and don't come near me. I'm king dog. I can bark in different themes, different melodies. So this is what we're becoming dogs. But we want to be the dog of Krishna. What does Bhakti Vinod Thakur say? Amara Kuku. Kukura means dog. I am dog, but I'm dog of the best master in all, Krishna. That's the kind of dog you want to be, not these dogs that are simply chasing after broken bones. So going to work for someone means that you become a happy dog. You're getting you're getting your bone from somebody. But we get our bone from Krishna. It's not a bone though. But Krishna is our master, and our spiritual master is a representative of our master in the material world. That's all. And whatever Krishna says, whatever the spiritual master says, is of course the same as what Krishna says. That's all we need to know. That's education. Education, if you take the word, it's a Latin word, comes from the word educare. Educare, in its definition, means to bring out. So education means to bring out what is already there, make it usable. So we have knowledge complete. The soul is by nature chit, full of knowledge. So material education is a coat of paint, that's all. Putting some paint on the outside of a wall makes the wall look good, but the wall is still a wall. So material education, as Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, destroys the qualities of a living being, destroys their good qualities.
Thank you, Marge. Very powerful, Marge. Very, very powerful. Thank you, Marge. Marge, that's a question. Sorry, Marge, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that we can use some of material education to serve Krishna, then it's no longer material, it's spiritual. But how much do we have to, we don't have to, as you mentioned, I think it was you mentioned, or was it Sridevi mentioned, the kids, they go to school for hours at a time, just trying to cram in the knowledge. And it's so frustrating that now they use AI and what is it called? There's another means of getting knowledge without studying. That's what is it called? Forgot what it's called.
Marge, is it ChatGPT?
Well, that's part of AI, but this is what do they call it? You go to the libraries and you find a connection, and they give you some. It's before AI actually manifested. It's called. I forgot.
We have all the young folks here thinking, Marge, so I'm sure they'll come up with the answer.
The students now,
Wikipedia.
something like that, but it's
Okay.
It's, in other words, the knowledge has already been given and it's stored in different places. They go looking for that knowledge in these different places. The answers, they learn the answers. They learn what are the questions on the examination. What is it? I almost got a tip of my tongue. Forgot what it's called. But anyway, they cheat, in other words, because to study is like, it kills you.
This is what is concerning me, that if this is what we are making kids go through, and they'll snap or they'll break, and they'll get pushed over the edge, and Krishna forbid, do something drastic, and then there goes another devotee child.
Yeah, and then they're pushed by their parents to come up to the standards, or pushed by their teachers to excel within their social environment. They also vie for popularity in that area. Yeah. It's called Cliff Notes. That's it, Cliff Notes.
Cliff
You have Cliff
Notes.
Notes?
It's really sad, Maharaj. It's just really, really sad.
It is. It's the youth is the prime of the
Yeah.
nation. These are the future. And some of them are actually becoming really so. But fortunately, by Krishna consciousness, we're picking up some of them and are becoming devotees. This is the only hope.
Yes, Marge.
Yeah,
Marge, sorry, Marge, go ahead.
they get swallowed up by this materialistic grind,
It's really a sad situation when we see, especially young children, drilled in so many school, activities and education and this and that, and they don't even have time to even sleep. Like Sridevi said, they don't have time to sleep.
There was one student, and he wanted to study, so he just got on the computer, and he was working, and he just stayed on the computer for 3 days straight without eating, without sleeping. And at the end of 3 days, he collapsed. Fortunately, his fellow roommates or fellow dormitory mate found him, took him to the hospital. They saved his life, but he was on the verge of death. Yeah, so they just cram.
It's really
So
unhealthy.
some secular education is helpful, but real education is, who is Krishna? Who are you? What is your relationship with Krishna? Real education is called sambandha, which is relationship. What is my actual relationship with different categories of people, different categories of the material energy? That's real education. But they don't teach that. When Prabhupada went to MIT, no, was it? Yeah, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, he challenged us. He said, where is the technology for understanding the nature of the living being? And they couldn't answer. So, like I said, very simply, today's education is like a coat of paint. It's not real education. They just add something on to you, and it's called information. Information is not education. Education is values, qualities, character. If you can be, I mean, nowadays people claim to be educated, but they have all bad habits. That's not education. Education means to develop good character in the mode of goodness, at least.
Marge, I'm going to take a question from the chat, but Siddharth just posted a question and he said, a comment, as a college student right now, it's killing me all right. Are you okay, Siddharth? That is not a very nice point to put when
I'm
we're
good.
discussing about children.
I apologize. No, it's when Maharaj was saying before when he was like,
Okay.
I was just joking. I apologize.
Good.
It's just a
Because we're
joke. It's
talking.
just a joke. I understood when like the conversation's going later. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But like at the beginning, I was just joking about it. I apologize.
Okay, good. Good. Thank you. Want to make sure. Thank you, Siddharth. Hare Krishna. He got me scared, Maharaj.
What did he say?
He says, as a college student, right now it's killing me, all right. So the word killing really got me.
Well, he's a sane boy. He's not going to do it. His mother, his father are both devout.
Yes. Thank
And
you.
he's a sensible person. I know him. He's the person that thinks things out. He doesn't just do things.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you. Mark, there's a question here by Parijata. Good Mark, this verse says that even though the flood of divine love was all pervading, the Mayavadis and other materialistic thinkers could not receive it. Does this mean that Prema Bhakti depends not only on the divine mercy, but also on the receptivity of the heart? And how do we cultivate the humility that makes one touchable by this flood?
Well, Krishna, I mentioned the verse in the ninth chapter. You can turn to ninth chapter in Bhagavad Gita, verse number 191. Mhm. That's pretty much what Krishna is giving us as the qualification for understanding.
I'm going to share it now, Maharaj. 9:1.
You can go ahead and read the translation.
Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. Shall I read the purport, Maharaj?
Yeah.
Okay. As a devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord, he becomes enlightened. This hearing process is recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam. The messages of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are full of potencies, and these potencies can be realized if topics regarding the Supreme Godhead are discussed amongst devotees. This cannot be achieved by the association of mental speculators or academic scholars, for it is realized knowledge. Shall I go ahead, Marge?
Yeah, the point is that one has to be free from this desire to compete with Krishna. And the conditioned soul wants to compete with Krishna as being the enjoyer. And therefore, they can't understand this knowledge. They have to come to the platform of being free from the desire to enjoy the material energy. And then that allows them to be receptive to this knowledge. Even if they're not completely free, they should be at least partially free. So this enviousness is, I want to be the enjoyer, but you can't be something that is not your nature. You're not the enjoyer. You are the servant of the supreme enjoyer, and your enjoyment comes through service and not through competing with Krishna for the position of enjoyer. Therefore, they can't understand this knowledge. And then the second verse in that same chapter has
Shall I go back and share Marriage again?
but just to read the verse, it's interesting.
Okay, I'll go back and share Marriage. The verse 2, Marge, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed.
Now, here in that translation, it says most secret of all secrets, but it's not kept a secret. It's available for everyone. But why is it called secret of all secrets? Because unless one is qualified to receive it, they can't understand it. It remains a mystery. Although you can hear it, you can try to understand it, but because you're not qualified, because you're envious of God, or you want to be a competitor of God, the knowledge is never understandable. Okay. And then 7.1 in the Bhagavad Gita is also very 7.1 and 7.2 are also powerful verses which align themselves similarly with that one. But again, that's the process of hearing. The importance of hearing regularly from Krishna and from Krishna's representative awakens one's attraction to the process of devotional service. The people, they don't want to hear, they see something and they want to take part in the activity, but they don't want to take time to understand it. They want to enjoy it without understanding it. I mean, it's nothing wrong in that, but unless they go beyond that enjoyment and try to understand what is their relationship with this knowledge, then they take the knowledge as being meant for their enjoyment, but it's not. It's meant for their purification.
Thank you, Marge. I'm going to go to Sri Devi, Raj, and then come back to Parijata's second question. Sri Devi, go ahead.
Thank you. To continue this, my thoughts are still running along those lines, Maharaj. What do you think is the future of the youth of today who are sort of jaded by the material energy on one hand, but also not so inclined towards any kind of spirituality on the other?
Well, it's not very, what can you say? They're headed in another direction. That's why preaching allows for that knowledge to be spread. And even though they may not accept it, when things change in their life, which is inevitable, then they may be more inclined to accept it. We were just talking, just last night, we were discussing how one man, he, one lady, she was distributing books in Italy and the train stations. And they would run on the train when the train would stop and the passengers would get off and then the new passengers would get on. So sometimes 5 or 10 minutes the train would stop. So devotees would go. So one lady, she came on, she approached one man and he was quite rude and obnoxious. He just grabbed the book out of her hand and then pushed her. And she fell down actually. And then he kept the book. And then, of course, she got off the train because the train was leaving. And then that man, he took that book home and he just put it in his library, forgot about it. And then a few years later, he came down with terminal cancer, same man. And then he was desperate and he wanted to find something about God that might help him. So he had just happened to pick up the Gita, the book that he got from that book distributor. And he started reading it. And then he started to feel a sense of relief from the anxiety because Gita was explaining to him that, you're not this body and you traverse life after life in different situations. In other words, he became a little bit less anxious about his situation. So he wanted to learn more. So he came to the temple, happened to be the address in the temple. And it's just interesting when he came to the door was opened by the same girl that he pushed out of the train. And when he saw her, he paid his full obeisances. And of course, he apologized profusely, explained what happened, came in, and then he took up Krishna consciousness. So, his life had to change for the worse before he could actually take advantage of the knowledge that he had. Although he didn't have it voluntarily, still it was available. So we spread that knowledge as much as we can. And then sometimes we see people who come to material crises, they look towards Krishna or they look towards God for some solace, some answers. And then so that preaching may not have effect immediately, but it'll have effect in the long run. It happens a lot.
Hmm. So it looks like they need to get knocked about a bit by the material energy before they will accept the truth of the Vedas.
Yeah, of course, that's for those who are like that, but there's those who are a little bit more open and intelligent and will accept things based on trying to understand what they're getting. So, yeah, there's different classes of people.
That's a powerful pastime.
Oh, really powerful.
Hmm.
Because Marge, it just, I was just thinking as you were sharing that, when he was hit with, when he was, when he got terminal cancer is when he thought about the book. Like that was like pure mercy.
He wasn't even thinking about that book. He just went into his library looking for something about God, and he happened to come across the Gita, so picked it up and started reading.
Wow, mercy, mercy. Hare Krishna, amazing. How
Yeah,
how this mercy flows, Marge, is like wow.
that's a good way to describe it. Wow. If you take the word wow and you turn it backwards, what do you get?
Wow. It's just this, it's sometimes more when I hear these amazing pastimes, it's like Krishna's mercy, it just comes in multiple forms, like wow. Again, okay, I'm going to stop saying wow. Raj, you can go ahead.
It's like rain. Rain just comes and sometimes it drenches and inundates. So it says the flood of love of God has started in the area of the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya and is flowing throughout the world, inundating or drowning the world in love of God. This is a very, very powerful process. Lord Chaitanya just wants everyone to take advantage of this mercy. He's not excluding any category of people, but there's there's categories of people who exclude themselves. That's their misfortune.
Thank you, Maraj. Raj, you can go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. My question was something similar. I am in my university, and here every year two students commit suicide in this university. So we
Every
have every year. Yes, it's IIT Delhi, and every year two students commit suicide here. So we have a bhakti club here, and we organize weekly classes and lectures. But the youngsters are less interested in lectures. So, what all we can do for them to stop this or to reduce the number at least? We are trying, but we don't know.
try kirtan and prashadam. I think kirtan is more like they might see it as some kind of entertainment. I was just talking to a girl in Delhi. You're in Delhi? Yeah,
Yes, Maharaj.
I was just in Delhi last week. I was talking to one girl who's a college student, and she says her fellow students, they're always coming up and challenging her all the time about why she believes what she believes, and they give their own reasons of what. The students nowadays are really brainwashed in the wrong way. They're throwing out everything spiritual and redefining spiritual as simply something that is there for people who are old and can't do anything else. Yeah, India is now, it's not everywhere in India, but in the more prestigious universities, it's like that. IIT Delhi is a very prestigious school. But, people after money, they're after position, they're after power, they're after good sense gratification.
I can do some Zoom classes for the youth, Maharaj, if you will permit me.
Well, I connected you with Gandharvika, and you can work together, and she's been doing a lot with the youth, a lot.
I wrote to her, but there was no reply. And
She said she was interested in allowing you to come and help her, but you have to make an effort now.
okay, so I have to be after her a little bit.
Yeah, just find out how she's working and when she's working, and she's
Okay.
already invited you to come. I sent you a reply.
Okay. I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay, Raj. So,
Sorry, Marge.
do you have a
Raj,
question?
did that help? Kirtan and Prasadam.
Yes, Maharaj. We can start some Kirtan jamming sessions, maybe.
Yeah, whatever it takes to get them in. That's the point.
Music and feed the belly.
Yeah, and then you have the books there, and you don't propagate the books. You just keep them there. And if they keep coming, then after a while they get interested in learning more.
Marge, that Vaisheshika Prabhu has a kirtan outdoor event that he has with his devotees in ISKCON Silicon Valley, and they call it Krishna, what's it called? Kirtan Jam, something on the street. So you can have a kirtan jamming session. I think the word jam might attract the young people, you know. It's
Yeah,
just a choice of words too.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raj.
Jam and good food.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow the words can attract young people and then they just come. And then they just become crazy like us. Haribol. Thank you, Raj. Krishna Kaviraj, go ahead. And after you, I'll come to Prijata's last question.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Guru Maharaj, these rains of mercy, if a person has been showered with some rains of mercy, but at that point in time they are unable to absorb anything, unable to understand anything, and it doesn't change their mindset. Is that rain of mercy still in the background, or that might benefit them later, or is it just
Yeah.
lost?
It's never lost. It'll benefit later when the situation is right. When they are able to receive it, then knowledge will be beneficial. And right now they're not able to receive it. So that doesn't mean we don't give it though.
Mm.
Yeah. I use the example of when people have crisis in their life and they're open to broader things. They want to find out what are the answers to my miseries. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj.
As Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati used to say, preach. And if no one comes, preach to the four walls. But don't give up preaching simply because of the results are not there.
Thank you, Marge. I'm going to read Prijata's question and then come to you, Silpesh. Second question, Marge, is the previous verse says that the five members of the Panchatattva together initiated the flood of prema. What does their perfect unity teach us about cooperation among devotees, and how is this collective harmony essential for the Sankirtan movement to truly flourish?
The answers is in your questions. Yes, this unity is necessary in a collective way. Turn to Srimad Bhagavatam, fourth canto, 30th chapter, verse number 8, and you can see here is the example of collective unity, and you can see what is the result. For 8:30, yeah.
Oh, 8:30, Maharaj? Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry, 4:38. You got it. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. 4:38. Okay.
Read that.
Shall I read the translation, Maharaj?
Mhm.
Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear sons of the King, I am very much pleased by the friendly relationships among you. All of you are engaged in one occupation, devotional service. I am so pleased with your mutual friendship that I wish you all good fortune. Now you may ask a benediction of me."
So Lord Vishnu's saying how he's pleased by cooperation, unity together, and so much so that please ask some benediction. And the purport's very powerful, really powerful. The unity of individual souls attempting to satisfy the Supreme Lord or rendering service to the Lord is real unity. In the material world, such unity is not possible. People may officially unite, but they have different interests. Example is the United Nations. They've been trying to unite, but still they remain disunited because they all have different ideas on how things, they all have their own individual ideas. There's no center. Actually, in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be two opinions. There's only one to serve Krishna to one's best ability. If there's some disagreement over service, some such disagreement is taken to be spiritual. So the point is, yeah, devotees unite together to serve Krishna in the best possible way. So each plays their role. And that unity is beneficial for everyone involved in it. And Krishna is so pleased by such unity that he wants to give benedictions. So cooperation, unity, the Panchatattva are five personalities that each are from the absolute truth. The absolute truth contains these five personalities, but each one is in a different category. But they're united in one principle to spread God consciousness everywhere. So they're five individuals, but they're all working cooperatively to do one thing, bring Krishna consciousness to the conditioned souls. So we may have different backgrounds, we may have different levels of intelligence, we may have different ways of seeing things, but if we work together in a united way, keeping Krishna as the goal, then the most amazing things happen. Because when Krishna sees that, he's so pleased that he gives the results automatically.
Thank you, Maharaj. That was a powerful verse.
Ask Parajata if she's satisfied with that answer.
Oh, yes, Maharaj. She actually sent a double folding hand emoji. She's pleased. She's very happy.
Yes,
Okay.
Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much. Thanks a
Okay.
lot.
Hare Krishna.
Parajata, your questions are way like amazing and powerful. Thank you. I would like to
Thank
meet you
you.
in person.
Yes, same
Amazing.
here, Mother. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, powerhouse meets powerhouse. That would be fun.
So are you.
Powerful, Kush.
You're a dynamite.
When Parijata is around, sparks fly. Look out, Anasuya.
I would love to meet her. Powerful questions. Amazing.
Thank you.
Those
Hare
questions,
Krishna.
those questions are most relevant questions. That's the-
Yes. Drawn straight from the verse. Beautiful. Thank you. Silpesh Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, could you maybe speak about the Bhakti Vriksha program that Shamla Prabhu will be starting for the God family this Sunday?
I think you know more about it. So Shilpas has asked me to endorse their program that is coming up this Sunday in the UK, which I'm 100% favorable for. But I don't know as enough as he does about the program, so I would turn it over to you to speak something, and then after you speak something, I'll say something.
Sure, thank you, Guru Maharaj. So,
But now we're getting into a whole different thing. So do you want to keep this to the end, or you want to do it now, Anasuya?
Marge, I'm just your servant, Marge. Whatever you please.
Well, if we have more questions related to the present
Sure.
topic.
Okay, I think Revati has a question, so I'll go to her, Marge. And if there's none, then I'll come back to you, Silfish.
Well,
Go
don't
ahead,
worry.
Revati.
If you stay to the end, you'll get in. We're keeping you here, making sure you don't go away.
We'll save the best for last, as they say, Maharaj. Right?
Okay.
Revati, go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, could you please explain the difference between the fallen soul and the non-devotee?
Pretty much same. Fallen means falling out of their natural position as servant of the Lord. Non-devotee means one who is not devoted to the Lord. It's just two different terms. But fallen is categorized in different levels, where non-devotee is also categorized in different levels. So everyone who is a non-devotee is a fallen soul. And everyone who is a fallen soul generally is a non-devotee. So I don't think you can find much etymological difference in the definition.
Mhm. So when we hear like we should not associate with non-devotees and we should give mercy to fallen devotees. So how should we understand this? Mm.
Oh, okay. So you're categorizing non-devotees in different ways. So, okay. So non-devotees are those who work against or are adamant against spiritual practice. In other words, you can't do anything to them. Fallen souls are those persons who are just victimized by the material energy, and they may also change if they receive the right knowledge or the right situation. They may also stop becoming fallen. So non-devotees are put into different categories. Bhakti Vinod Thakur does that. Rupa Goswami mentions them, but Bhakti Vinod Thakur categorizes what is the non-devotees. So there's different categories of non-devotees. For fallen souls is everybody. So different categories of non-devotees. I don't think it'll. There's one book called Bhakti Aloka where Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes those non-devotees, the blasphemer, the what is it? The blasphemer, the liar, the debater, the what do you call it? There's a bunch of them. The one who claims to be a devotee but is a devotee, not a devotee, or like a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's another type of non-devotee. Dharma Dwaji. They're called Dharma Dwajis. Avajanti, Krishna mentions for those who are gross materialists, those who are Naradamas, who think social and political institutions are the solution to the world's success in life. The Mayaparita Gyan, the great intelligent thinkers who have all kinds of knowledge but don't know anything about who they are or what the goal of life. And then the atheists, or the atheist persons who are actually vocally against anything spiritual or anything religious. So there's different kinds of non-devotees, and they're all fallen.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I got it, Guru Maharaj. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Revati. Nice question. Any other questions from devotees before we wait to hear the good news from Silvesh Prabhu? Okay, if there isn't, Silvesh, the forum is yours.
Thank you, Mataji. So Shamla Prabhu is a disciple of Guru Maharaj and myself. We're going to be starting a Bhakti Viksha program for the God family. There's a taster session this Sunday at 5 p.m. UK time, which will probably suit the European and North American devotees time-wise. It's open to everyone here, as well as your family and friends as well, if you wish to introduce them to Krishna consciousness. It's a way of learning Krishna consciousness in like an easy, fun manner, and we'll have each other's association as well online. And we'll put a registration link out on the Worldwide God Family WhatsApp group. And also, if devotees in India want to register as well, and if there's enough interest, then we can start a group for them as well. And that could even be taught in Hindi as well by Nitya Mataji and Chuta Gora Prema Mataji. Sorry, Prabhu. Chuta Gora Prema Prabhu. So, yeah, please put the word out, and you're all welcome to join. And there could be even different groups in the future, depending on what level you are. So if you're maybe initiated more philosophical, there could be classes, Bhakti Viksha classes made for that. But at the moment, this will be like a friendly beginners taster session, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Maybe you could say a bit about Bhakti Viksha.
Yeah, Bhakti Viksha was started by Jayapataka Swami as a means for taking people from a very basic understanding to all the way to the position of being qualified to accept initiation. And it's geared in a very systematic way how the whole program goes. And there's step by steps, such as chanting together, having a small kirtan together, reading together, and then looking for the main points in that reading, noting them down, and after noting them down, taking them point by point and discussing them in three angles of vision. What does it mean? What is the actual understanding within the context that we're hearing? How does it relate to you? Have you had any experiences based on this knowledge? And then like that, it's more or less, it's about learning, discussing the Shastras together and chanting together, making friendship. Basically, it's done on site. If you do it online, it's a little different, but still, you can still get some benefit. When it's done on site, then devotees interact personally with each other and develop friendships, which is really important in Krishna consciousness. Of course, we can develop friendships online too, but it's a little less personal with working through the computer. But still, I recommend that you give it a try and see how it works. And then there's a gauging system that you start to qualify yourself by accepting so many rounds, by accepting regulative principles accordingly. And when you get to 16 rounds and 4 regulative principles, then you are somewhat considered qualified for initiation. And that becomes acknowledged by the local authorities who recommend people for initiation. It's nice. It's a very effective program for making devotees. They're moving devotees from practically knowing nothing to the principle of accepting initiation. It's a very successful worldwide program.
Thank you, Silvesh Prabhu and Maharaj. Thank you for sharing that. If devotees would like to, of course, Silvesh Prabhu said that they'll post it in the WhatsApp group, the Worldwide God Family WhatsApp group. If anyone is interested, please do reach out to him and share it with others around the world so that others can also join, and Silvesh Prabhu can work with them to create more groups according to the time zone that you all are in. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, please, I would like to make sure that I don't miss anyone. And going down the list so that I don't miss anyone. If there isn't, Marge, would you like to end with a round of chanting?
No, I would like to end with 2 rounds of chanting.
Oh, yes, Maharaj. 2 rounds of chanting, it shall be. I said, oh, what did I do? Thank you, Maharaj.
That'll give me up to 16. I only got 14 done, so.
Thank you, Maharaj. It'll help us too. Sri Devi, Prabhu, do you have or do you have access to showing the slideshow by any chance? Or probably Srimati. I don't know, one of you. She said yes. Okay, thank you, Sri Devi.
Everybody sit straight. If you're sitting in a chair, sit erect in the chair, back straight. If you're sitting on the floor, do the same. Keep your back straight. And keep your beads above your waist, not below your waist. And we begin by getting the mercy or begging for the mercy of the Panchatattva by chanting Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari, Gauda Bhaktavinda. And then we begin chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Slowly. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Oh, Hari 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ram Ram He Krishna Hari Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram He Krishna Hari Krishna Hari Ram Hari Krishna Hari Krishna Hari Ram Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Oh Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Sanso Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hari Hari Ram, Ram Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari 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 Ram, Ram Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Ram Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari 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 Ram, Ram Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Ram Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Ram Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Ram Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari 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 Ram, Ram Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari Ram, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari. Hari Hari, Hari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hari Hari Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Hari.
Excuse me, devotees, I will have to stop the share. If someone wants to pick it up from here, I'm happy to hand over the hosting. But I have some important work to do now before the day ends here in India. Is Srimati on the call?
I don't know. I was about to ask because I was going to hand over the host because it's almost 9 and I have to start my day here too. So
Hare
I
Krishna.
I do
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, is Guru Maharaj there on the call?
He
I
is.
don't
He's not in view, but he is still logged in.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Guru Maharaj is here. I'll share screen, Mataji. Yeah, I can do.
Okay.
Oh, Guru Maharaj left.
Okay, Maharaj just left.
Okay.
I will
Sure.
end the call because I can't
Yes,
go.
so we will end the call. Thank you all so much for joining
Okay.
and wish you all a wonderful day. Vanchakapti vyascha, kripasindhabheva Patitanam pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Candramauli Swami ki jai. Thank you so much. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.